On this episode of Arts Weekly, I'll be speaking with Denice, Beights, and Brian Clissold from the Fort Wayne Children's Choir.
But the difference between us and a sports team like a basketball or football team is everybody performs, everybody plays.
And Tom Hofrichter from the First Presbyterian Theater.
He finds a way with beautiful, beautiful words to say what is locked inside every human soul.
This is Arts Weekly.
Arts Weekly is a production of the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design. IPFW, the energy of arts.
Hello, this is Chuck O'Connor, and this is Arts Weekly. Joining me is Denice Beights, Executive Director of the Fort Wayne Children's Choir, and Brian Clissold, Artistic Director. They're here to talk about the Fort Wayne Children's Choir. Thank you both for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
The Fort Wayne Children's Choir is a company in residence at IPFW. What does it mean to be a company in residence?
It means that we are a part of the music education family here on campus. We have our offices here, we have all of our rehearsals here, and we couldn't be more happy to be here.
Yes, and I noticed all the cars pulling up with the children every evening. And was it about 5, 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it is. We drop off and pick up is a crazy time out there.
But seriously, you guys teach and have choirs for quite a number of children. Tell us a little bit, Brian, about the history of the choir and some of the things that you do.
Well, we have a fantastic heritage that goes back 37 years. This is actually our 38th season, and it started just as a community-based choir of just like 30 kids to start off with, and now we have almost 300 kids and 8 ensembles, 7 of which are performing ensembles. So it's grown quite a bit. I'm new to the organization. It grew leaps and bounds under the previous artistic director, Fred Meads, and we're proud of our heritage and glad to see it continuing into the future.
And where do you hail from?
Originally from Battle Creek, Michigan, and I came here by way of Indianapolis.
I see. Well, you're both rather new. Denice, you as well. You've been about a year and a half, couple years here.
Correct.
As the executive director of the choir. Since you're both new and you're building upon such a strong legacy of the choir, what are some of the things that you hope to see and things that you hope to accomplish?
Sure. Well, one of the things is to expand the reach of the children's choir, and we want to do that 2 ways. One, we want to offer the program to more kids in the community and throughout the region. And recently we received a grant from the Follinger Foundation to do just that, to do research on satellite choirs. And so we're starting to do that this year by looking at other programs throughout the country, Chicago, Boston, and look at their satellite programs. And in the meantime, we've started a pilot satellite in Columbia City. So we're offering the program to kids who couldn't ordinarily get to campus and offering our program to them right where they are.
So if I understand this, a satellite program is a program that's offered off campus?
Correct.
In another community?
Correct.
I see. In addition to the 7 choirs. Let's talk a little bit about how you structure the Fort Wayne Children's Choir. Brian, you say you have 7.
Mm-hmm.
What ages, and how do you differentiate the different choirs among those age groups?
We start at about age 8, and we go all the way up through high school. We have kids literally age 8 to 18. And the ensembles are primarily divvied up based on skill, but age is a factor as well. You know, if you have a beginning singer who's 13, we don't want to put them in with 8-year-olds. You know, it just wouldn't be fun for anyone. And so but it's primarily ability-based, and at the end of each year, they have a conference with their director to see if they're ready to move up to the next level.
Mm-hmm. And how do children or parents find out about the choir? Do the students need to audition, or how does that work?
They do audition. We primarily work through the music teachers in the schools, and we have a music advisory board that Brian works with, so we let them know about the program. They are very familiar with who we are and what we do. And then in March, at the end of March, we arm them with packets that they can take back to every music teacher in the region, and they can, again, pass on that information to the students and talk to their parents, and then they call us and we schedule an audition.
Okay, so then are students separated by ability or age, or a combination of the two?
Combination of the two. Yeah. And I just wanted to mention that anybody can audition. You know, the schools are our primary network, but we have a lot of kids from homeschool programs who may not have another outlet for singing. You know, there isn't a school choir to join, or if their school doesn't happen to have a choir and they really want to sing. So anyone can audition. But yes, they would call us for an audition. We audition in small groups of 5 or 6 kids at a time based on age. And then from the results of that audition, we look at where they are musically and where they might fit in best in the program.
Is it fair to say that you select the music based on the child's ability? In other words, you're not probably performing a Bach or something like that when somebody's 8 years old, but as you explained it before the show, Brian, there's actually music composed particularly for certain age groups and abilities.
There, in the last decade or so, the children's choir as a genre and as a type of musical ensemble has really taken off. And there are literally thousands of really good, well-crafted pieces of music just for children's choir of all ages. There are pieces of music geared towards the younger 8, 9, 10-year-olds, and also the older, more advanced students.
You're both music educators, essentially, aren't you?
Correct.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have degrees in music education, and you bring that focus as opposed to just, in addition to, I should say, performance and conducting abilities.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I should also say that our other directors are music educators. 2 of them are in the Fort Wayne Community Schools, and one is at Holy Cross. So really it's very process-oriented. Even though it's a performance-based program, a lot of learning goes on.
Now, I was reading your mission statement previously the other day, and you're really also focused on a lot of other life-building skills at the choir. What sort of other things do kids get out of being a part of the choir?
Leadership, teamwork, discipline, the ability to understand how a team works. You can look at it similar to a sports kind of team, but the difference between us and a sports team like a basketball or football team is everybody performs, everybody plays. There's no second string, there's nobody that sits on the bench. They all get a part of that, and so we find that kids really desire to learn these skills too, and it's really fun to work with them.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that the children's choir is a non-competitive environment.
That's
Correct.
true. There are auditions, and you have to meet certain expectations to move to the next level, but there are no losers. You're in the ensemble, and you're in the ensemble, and when we sing a concert, everybody wins. And that's really true teamwork, in my opinion. And as Denise said, nobody sits on the bench, nobody comes in second place. It's really wonderful.
I think one of the advantages to all the performing arts, theater, music as well, is the accountability that it develops in a child. I mean, if you don't show up to do your part, the other kids will be mad as well.
Exactly.
Your peers, not just your teacher.
Exactly.
You really owe it. And I know that when I was in choir in high school, that's one of the first things I learned was be there on time. You're a part of a team, and that's important. And so I'm glad that you kind of reinforced those skills.
Absolutely.
And kids are busy, so it's really important for us. We talk a lot about accountability with them and making decisions and prioritizing. We're dealing with it right now with some families that kids are busy, and we know that. And so how do we help them make good decisions about what they're going to be involved in school and with us, and understanding the requirements? And accountability is huge.
And when does the choir rehearse?
It depends on the ensemble. We have rehearsals every day of the week. Most of our ensembles only rehearse once a week, but our concert choir, which is our highest treble voiced or ensemble, rehearses twice a week.
You also do concerts, and you have one coming up actually on March 25th. You have the Young Artist Concert. Tell us a little bit about that, where it is, and what you'll be performing.
It's at First Wayne Street United Methodist Church, which is a beautiful, beautiful sanctuary, and acoustically just phenomenal. That will feature three of our top ensembles: the Youth Chorale, which is our high school component, Chamber Singers, which is a select ensemble from within the Youth Chorale, and our concert choir. And the whole program is really emphasizing what kind of artistry these young people can do on their own. And I should also mention that on one of the pieces we have, to continue with this theme, we have members of the Fort Wayne Youth Symphony serving as the accompanists. So it's really kids working with kids to create some really beautiful and powerful music.
And the acoustics I hear in First Wayne Street Methodist is just, they're just outstanding.
It's really, and I've programmed it with that in mind. It's fun to have a space like that to work with and say, okay, this piece will just sound stunning,
Well, you're also going to be doing a little bit of traveling, which is very, very exciting. You're taking, which choir is it? Your senior-most choir to England?
We're taking our concert choir to England, which is our most advanced treble ensemble. It's primarily late middle school, early high school kids. And we're going to Canterbury Cathedral to perform in a Canterbury Cathedral Children's Choir Festival with 9 other children's choirs. And we'll also be in Stratford-upon-Avon, we'll be in Oxford, we'll be in London. So we'll get around a little bit while we're there.
When will that be?
August 23rd, or excuse me, July 23rd through August 2nd.
Oh my gosh, and how many singers are you taking?
24. 24 singers and chaperones. And then we're also going to Washington, D.C. with our high school group. And we're taking a similar number of kids, and they're doing a performance-based tour throughout D.C., performing in some wonderfully old churches, and doing a lot of fun sightseeing, too, for our high school kids.
And do you do this often? Do you take them?
We tour annually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We don't do international tours every year, but every 2 or 3 years we do a big trip internationally. The last one was Newfoundland, Festival 500, and then we've been all over Europe, and it's really an exciting part of our program.
Well, who takes care of all these kids while you're there? I mean, I hope it's not just the 2 of you.
No.
We have a little bit of help.
Yeah, we do.
We have fantastic chaperones, parents of the kids, and our director of operations, Janet Treadway, is just amazing.
Amazing.
And, she really runs the organization, and we just get to appear on TV.
Yeah, she sweats the details.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Well, coming up in 2012, and I know this is still in the planning stages, but you're putting together something very exciting, which is the Young Voices Children's Festival. And what is that about?
It's a festival just like what we're going to in England, but it's for younger voices. It's typical for children's choirs for the late middle school kids to go on tours. What we wanted to do is offer an opportunity for the younger kids to have a more local kind of tour, not so far away, a shortened amount of days to be away from home, and to work with a world-renowned clinician and understand the importance of touring, so as they get older to go on the bigger trips, that they can feel like they can do that with some ease instead of intrepidation. So we've already hired Rollo Dilworth. He's a world-renowned children's choir clinician and composer to come to Fort Wayne. We'll have the festival here at IPFW, so we'll be performing our final concert in our performance hall and doing all of our rehearsals and everything here on campus.
Boy, another great opportunity to do it. Well, you know, we're almost out of time, but just explain to our viewers one last time, if your child is interested in being a part of the Fort Wayne Children's Choir, what do they do? Give you a call, contact their high school teacher, and what's the best way to go about doing that?
They can contact their music teacher. They can give us a call at the number on the screen. They can visit our website at fwcchoir.org. Google us, find us online.
On the web and everything like that.
And,
Facebook.
We'll get, we have a Facebook page. Get in touch with us.
Well, it's a fantastic choir. If anybody's not had a chance to see them perform, they really are one of the treasures of Fort Wayne, and I really congratulate you both for doing such a wonderful job, and welcome to your new leadership capacities at the Fort Wayne Children's Choir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For more information about the Fort Wayne Children's Choir or how you can get involved, please visit fwcchoir.org or call 481-0481. Arts Weekly will return in a moment.